Hey everyone, Andrew Reynolds with FindYourFuels.com. Hopefully here for another round of help for you as you're turning your passion into profit. Today we're just doing a very simple question that we get a lot of times, which is, where should I apply for work? And the first thing that we usually encourage people to do is to think 5 years ahead. Now I know that can sound pretty daunting, but don't worry, it's not as crazy as a 10-year plan, and basically I'm not even asking you to come up with a 5-year plan. I'm just trying to get you to think ahead enough so that if you do a good enough job of it, you'll hit right in the center of where you need to be. Because if you think of yourself in terms of where you even want to be in 5 years, how much money do you want to make? What do you want your work life to be like? We're not talking about a full-fledged career. We're just saying within kind of your next move. And I say 5 years to kind of aim for the bullseye. So if you hit something around it, we're at least going to be good. Because remember, most employment situations have to last at least 2 years for a company to see a return on their profit. So trust me, they're at least thinking 5 years into the future, even if you aren't. So might as well be on the same page with them for that. Second, I want you to try to think of kind of finding your center for work, not just your skills and experience, but your motivations and kind of who you are as a person, and try to stay as close to that center as possible. Don't think off the wall. Don't try to shoot for just purely benefits or purely salary or what you want to make. Don't just do a search based upon parameters that you can search for with these job things about, salary and position, all these different kinds of things. Try to think of, where am I right now? Maybe not even where I want to be in 20 years or what I want to end up doing, but like, what have we got to work with? Because one of the biggest things that you'll hear from interviewers is, I want integrity. And we're not so much talking about, yes, showing up on time and doing what you are asked to do. That's fine. That's more towards like honor and just kind of respect and just general soft skills. But when it comes to integrity, it's that what you see is what you get kind of impression. And that is really difficult to manufacture. And if you can give that genuinely by staying close to your work center, if when you walk in the room and you get that interview, which we know you're going to do, if they get the impression that this is actually who you are that kind of person, the more close to your center, the more you're going to experience that. And my experience is the more you'll get the job. And the third thing we want to really have you do, once you've done those things, look 5 years ahead and kind of trying to find your work center, prioritize by that fit and by your connections. Start to give yourself a list of like the top 10 jobs that you'd like to apply for, and think of people. You may not know people who work specifically at that location, but there's got to be people that they interact with on a regular basis. See if there's anyone that you can contact that knows somebody who knows somebody, and really it only has to be 1 or 2 away from the actual center. I mean, if there's a supplier that works for them, anyone who's going to be within the reach of that building or those people, just ask for a recommendation. A lot of the lists that they'll put out for what they're looking for in a job, a lot of that can be kind of pushed, not necessarily pushed to the side, but the things that are non-essential will be overcome by having someone who you know and trust recommend someone who they know and trust, hopefully you. So if you've done your job, if you've thought 5 years into the future to make sure it's going to be a good fit for both parties, if you've found your center and stayed close to it, and if you can leverage a few relationships to kind of get the ball rolling, that's the best thing we can offer you when you're thinking about where you should apply for work. Start there. I think you'll find a lot more success than you may have found in the past. Hope that's of help. Any more questions or comments, please leave them below. Subscribe if this is helpful, because we're going to be keeping cranking out these videos. As questions come into us, we're going to do our honest best to answer them. Thanks for tuning in. Hope that was of help.